Hello, welcome to the video for C minor in third position. If you've already watched the videos for first position C minor, which is a good idea to do these C minor scales together, you already know that C minor is one of my very, very favorite keys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this C minor rolling in third position. You'll actually find this a little bit easier than the C minor in first position because you have a pretty awkward finger pattern going on between the A flat, B natural, and extended 4 C in first position. You won't have that at all in third position. It really lies in the hand better in third position. Okay, so without further ado, we'll break it up 2 octaves here. So we'll do the lower octave first. And find that C. Just take your hand away, bring it to the violin, and find the C. Okay, and just like I mentioned in the first position video, to make sure it's in tune, G, C. Nice wedding march there, okay? So let's get going. C to D, whole step. Our third note is lowered a half step, so our E natural from the major scale becomes E flat. So you're going to feel that 3 slide down the 2. Then F, so you have a space between E flat and F, E flat 3 and 4. G, remember we lower the 6th degree or the 6th note a half step, so we have an A flat here. Bring your 2 down next to the 1 for A flat. Stretch the 3 for a high 3. It's going to feel high, but it's really normal. For B, you're going to feel that nice buzzing in your ear when you play B. And then C, okay? So let's go ahead and take it down the scale. So as you see right here, the finger pattern for the D string is 1 and 2 are going to touch because a half step is between the G and the A flat, and then the B and C are going to touch. Okay, so it's real kind of funky. You feel like you're splitting your hand a little bit in half here. C, B. By the way, I'm sure you noticed I kept my fingers down. Make sure you do too. A flat, G, F, E flat, nice and dark, D, nice and ringing, C. Okay, so we'll do that again, lower octave, C, D, dark E flat, F, nice ringing G, A flat, low 2, stretch that 3 for B, and C. Good, back down. A flat, G, F, E flat, ringing D, C. Gorgeous, that's the lower octave. See, it really fits well in third position. Your hand is just like right there, all the notes are there. C is your first finger, so it feels really comfortable to do that whole lower octave on 2 strings, only 2 strings. Okay, so now let's go on to the upper octave. Now we're going to have to start with that 4th finger in third position on the D string for C. And to make sure that's in tune, you can do your G, have a perfect in tune G, and then C. Okay, so you have a perfect 4th, the wedding march. Now, if your G is a little flat, but you played your 4 in relationship to the G, that means your C is going to be a little flat. So it's really important that the note you're starting from is perfectly in tune when you do a test of intonation based on relationship, okay? So you check it with your open G, get that really in tune, and then play that C. Okay, and then you'll get a really nice and tuned C, okay? Alright, so here we go, starting with the C, D, E flat, F, G, okay, so here you notice 1 and 2 touch, a half step occurs between the D and the E flat, F and G. Now what's going to happen? We have an A flat coming up. That means we have to lift off this 1 and make it a low 1, okay? So low 1 for the A flat. And then we need a B natural. So if you think about it, I want you to kind of think about this right here. You just played F, 3rd finger on the A string. He's going to move over straight across to play C, our last note on the E string. Your second finger has to actually lift off and play right behind that 3 for B. Okay, and then C. With a nice good tone there. Okay, so I'm going to explain that again to make sure that that sinks in. I know you have every ability to pause the videotape dates my age here, to pause the video and go back. But I'm going to go ahead and repeat it for you right now, and then you don't have to do that unless you need to. Okay, so here we go, starting, we'll actually start from the beginning here on C, D, E flat, so the 2 touches the 1, F, G. Now you're going to pick up your 1, play A flat. Keep all your fingers, the other fingers down, because I want to show you how the relationship is. So you have your A flat for low 1. Now that second finger is going to come right behind the 3 that's still down on the A string, okay? So I'm going to actually come up a little bit closer and show you. So that second finger is going to come right behind the 3 there, okay, for B. Alright? And then C. That way you'll have a better chance of that B being more in tune, because you know exactly where it's coming from and where it's going to. Okay? Alright, so now let's start on that C. Go back down. You noticed I didn't lift my fingers off. B. Now if you look at my B, check this out. He is kind of flat, my second finger. You see that? He's kind of flat. He's not up and rounded. And the reason why was because of what we did. We did F, G, low 1, the 2 came behind the 3. And to make sure he really came behind the 3, he came down at an angle and flat. Okay, to really get it up there, okay? Alright, so let's start at the C and we'll come back down. Okay, so C, B, low 1 for the A flat, it's going to sound really dark. Yep, G, F, E flat, D, C. Okay, so that's the upper octave. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and talk you through the 2 octaves, one right after the other. So here we go. C, D, E flat, F, G, another dark A flat, B natural, beautiful, C, D, E flat, F, G, low 1 for that A flat, lift the 2, put it right behind that 3, and then C. Okay, then we'll come back down, B, A flat, nice and dark, G. Right there, it's going to feel a little stretchy between your 1 and 4, okay? F, low 2 for an E flat. The 1 will come up and come right behind that 2 for the D. And then C. B natural. Yep, A flat. Excellent. G, F, E flat, low 3. D, nice and ringing, C. Okay, so that covers everything about the 3rd position C minor scale, and really think about the notes, the pitches, and the relationship of your fingers. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and play it now for you slow with pauses between each pitch, and you're welcome to play with me. And remember, within those pauses, listen in your head, really hear the next pitch you're going to play, okay? So here we go. just like I've said in other videos, really concentrate and focus on what you're doing on the pitches. You know, and it doesn't matter if you're doing scales or whatever you're playing on the violin, it's completely your mind, everything 100% involved in this instrument. Involved and evolved in this instrument. And when I was younger, in one of the youth orchestras I played in, a conductor, I think it was a conductor, he actually said, you know, focus so much on what you're doing that everything else is completely out of the picture, that there's nothing else going on. And if there is something that takes your attention away, block it out. Be completely focused on what you're doing. There's so many times that when I've been practicing in the practice room, somebody will come in, knock on the door, or enter into my world that I had created, my practice world between me and the violin, and it scared the heck out of me. So really, really be focused. Not that you want to, you know, be scared when somebody comes to the door, but be focused on what you're doing, because that time that you devote to the violin, it might be a very small amount of time that you have in your life to do that. So devote yourself 100% when you pick up this instrument, that your mind, everything, you're completely focused on what you're doing, and that will really help you with more efficient practice sessions. Okay? Enjoy that C minor scale, and until I see you again in another video or in online coaching, remember, be true, be you, be